Hey, this is your boy DJ 10 right here on another episode of Chat and Chill. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Well. One more time, as they say back in the dirty. One more again. Well, tonight I pulled out my bag of tricks. And you know, they say tricks are for kids, but my tricks is solely for adults. We're going to talk tonight about how people need to solve their own problems. Stop passing your problems on to somebody else for them to solve. You know, I have people that talk to me all the time and they say, you know, I spend a lot of time solving other people's problems. I used to be like that too. So some people who lead a busy life, you know, and you have plenty of problems of your own to solve. But have you ever noticed how much time you spend solving other people's problems? Perhaps while you're trying to reply to a few emails, you may have a friend or somebody that stops by and start complaining about stuff, complaining about their neighbor, complaining about their cousin, complaining about their friends, complaining about the car, complaining about the dog, complaining about the this and the that. Or maybe you have somebody that's living with you and is always telling you about their various problems, their various issues, and you're always the one in the middle of everything. You're always the one in somebody else's therapy session. So one of the first things that I find myself doing is helping people focus on their own lives and stop trying to solve other people's problems. I sometimes call others' problems hot potatoes because they often feel urgent. People's problems seem so urgent to them. So it reminds me of that game, Hot Potato. You know, like when we were kids, you pass the potato until the music stops, but nobody wants to be left holding on to the hot potato because, you know, if you have the hot potato, you're out the game. You know, so if you're like a parent or a friend or a co-worker or a roomie, you know, you hear your share of other people's problems. You know, it takes a lot of practice to learn to deflect the hot potato. We all know that it looks like someone dumps a problem on your lap and looks at you with hopeful eyes like, oh my God, can you help me with this? Can you help me figure this one out? It's my job. It's my people. It's my this, it's my that. I'm just such a problem. Life sucks. Oh my God, can you help me figure this one out? You know, I'm one of the people, like, I'm happy to listen to you, and I'm happy to listen that you know, maybe I can solve the problem, you know, and maybe help address, you know, any problems that you may have, you know, and I try to look at myself as a very professional, you know, an experience of a skill set of problem solving, you know, but for some people who don't do what you like to do, you know, I like to solve people's problems, which is why I kind of have this talk show. I feel like I'm solving like a million people's problems in one conversation. So it does become tiring when it's a one-on-one thing and people constantly coming up to you asking you questions about, well, what you think about it? What do you think I should do about this? Well, hell, what you think you should do about it? What do you think you should do about it? That's the first thing I ask you. What do you think you should do? What do you really think you should do? So when someone shares problems with you, this is what you got to do. First of all, you have to remember that it's not always an invitation to help the person problem solve. You know, are you being paid to solve this problem? Hell to the no. Often the other person just wants to vent and you need not do anything more than just nod and be like, yeah, what? Yes. Oh, right. And you understand or pretend like you understand it. You know, give them some good resounding like, damn, that's a really difficult situation, dude. Like, oh my God, how frustrating. You know, give them that kind of thing. You know, validate their problems so they can keep their shit moving. You know, but when you attempt to solve someone else's problem by giving advice or offering action, remember that you don't want to rob that other person of the opportunity to use their own skills. This is especially important for parents to understand. When your child comes to you with a problem about school or a friend or anything else, the first thing you don't want to do is jump on that damn bandwagon, get in your car, I'm going to whoop his ass. Point to him, which one is it? Which one is it? You don't want to do that. How is that allowing your child to solve their own problem if every time your child comes home, you jump in that bandwagon, which one was it? Who said you was ugly? You know, that's the first side. Y'all need to just leave it alone. Let them children solve their own problem. Yeah, I remember that time a long time ago. This lady brought a gun up to the school because her son was in a fight, and her son ended up going to jail. That's some real shit that be going on. When it comes to children and parents, if it's not a big problem like somebody jumped your child in school or whatever, let them children solve their own problems. So he took my pencil. Well, hell, get you another one, and if you take that one, then you take it back. But when it comes to really solving other people's problems, and they really want solutions from you, you need to take the time to say, look, I'm not a problem solver. I'm not a healer. I'm not Buddha. I'm not Jesus. I'm not a therapist. I'm not none of the above. I'm going to need you to solve your own problems. I'm going to need you to stop coming to me with your problems. First thing, what do you think you're going to do? Ask them never what you think you're going to do. Because what you have to understand is, letting other people solve their problems gives you a chance to work on your own. If you're taking the time out to solve everybody's problem, when are you taking the time to focus on yourself? I had to learn fairly quick that being the quote unquote waymaker is not my job. I can't solve your problem. My issue is this: if you got a problem with me, don't fuck with me. If you got a problem with the way I handle my life, stay the fuck out my life. If you got a problem with the way I solve my own life issues, I ain't ask you for your validation. If you got a problem with the way I live my life, well, fuck, it's my life. I can live it the way I want to. If you have an issue with the way I choose to make others aware of whatever's going on, that is my choice, which very well should be your choice as well. I don't need validation from anybody, and neither should you. You don't need to have someone validate who you are. You don't need anyone to validate what you are about. You don't need for anyone to validate who you have become as a grown-up. As a grown-up, that gave you the well rights to do what the hell you want to do with your life. And if you don't need to sit up and validate everybody else's issues and be everybody else's problem solver, because let me tell you what's going to happen. Once you start solving everybody else's problem, then when the shit go down and get down and dirty, guess who they're going to come to? Well, you told me to punch him in the damn face, and then now I'm sitting up doing 5 to 10. Well, I literally didn't tell you to punch him in the face. I said I would punch him in the face. I didn't tell you to punch him in the face. I said I was going to punch him in the face if it was me. But because you're not me, you should have focused on your own reality. My reality was, if that happened to me, I was going to punch him in the face. I didn't tell you to walk up and punch him in the face, knowing you already got a record, knowing that you already a felon, knowing that you already got things going on wrong. You shouldn't have punched nobody in the face, knowing that you about to do 5 to 10. As for me and my clean record, I would have punched you in your face. So you got to stop trying to make a way for other people's issues. If you run across somebody that got issues with you, or issues with how you live your life, or issues with how you seem to be, don't ask me for my opinion if you got a problem with the way I'm making my choices. Sometimes you have to learn, people, the golden rule. This is my golden rule, not the golden rule that God gave us. My golden rule, DJ Tan's golden rule. Take care of your damn self. Period. When you stop taking care of yourself is when you start feeling the need to validate everybody else's problems and issues. You start feeling this type of, if I'm not taking care of everybody else, I feel like I'm nobody. Let me explain something to you, and I'm speaking out of cold hard truth. When it's time for you to take that stand and understand that you were born in this world by yourself, unless you're a twin, of course, and you're going to die by yourself. And in between life and death, you have to take care of you the way you see fit. Don't come to me 25 years down the road and say, I should have took care of myself first. Now it's the end of my life. If you were pissy at 12 and you was pissy at 25 and you was pissy at 35, people still see you as pissy at 45, and you still got that pissy attitude at 55, and then you done rolled up on 65 and you still pissy, guess what? That ain't nobody else's problem to solve but your own. If you've had a pistivityness, yeah, I made that word up, pistivityness. Let me write that down. If you've had pistivityness in your life for most of your life, and you have taken the time out of your life, the one life that God gave you, to blame others on your mishaps and mistakes and problems and issues, and you have blamed everybody else on the reason why you didn't do this and the reason why that didn't occur and the reason why this and that. You know, I run into so many people who say, I'm single because, I just can't find the right man. Well, fuck, maybe you're not the right woman for all the men who you trying to look for. Because if you a pissy ass woman, I'm going to tell you something. After I finish coughing, of course. And I know people say, what pissy mean? What is he talking about pissy? I don't piss on myself. I'm talking pissy. Pissy mean a funky steak attitude. Pissy mean you got the nastiest attitude I ever seen in my life kind of attitude. Pissy is, that's what I call pissy. Pissy mean you one of them kind of people that people don't even want to be bothered with you. But then you so happily just try to find a reason for somebody else to be the butt of your problem. Well, the reason why I'm so pissy is because when I was 4, the kindergarten teacher told me that I was fat. And it bothered me all the way up till I was 70. Well, goddamn, if the kindergarten teacher told you was fat and that you lived with that your entire life, then I really think you should have sought a psychiatrist somewhere around 10. Because if you living with your past, and the thing about it is this: people take me and they laugh and they laugh and they laugh and they send me emails and they call me and they tell me, you are the funniest. No, I be serious, but that's just the way it comes out. Because let me tell you something though. Men and women alike, especially my African American brothers and sisters, you guys need to start facing your truth. You can't keep blaming slavery and being the product of a single parent household, or being a latchkey kid, or being overweight, or being too slim, or being too light, or being too dark. Although it may have been a reality. Now, don't get me wrong. So don't come sending me no notes talking about because I was fat. Nick told me I was there. I know somebody got thrown in the trash can every day at school. Had to eat lunch at the house. Had to go home eat lunch. Because they were just waiting to pull. They were just waiting to throw that poor child in the locker room and lock it. That's funny. Boy, I'll tell you, boy, when I heard that story, man, I just laughed. And as time went by, I kept saying to myself, that the longer I knew that person, the more I realized why they threw that ass in the locker. I understand completely why they threw that ass in the locker. See, some people got multiple personality disorder, and they don't really know they have it. So, the more you sit and watch a person, and the more you sit and understand a person, and you just, a lot of people will say, well, Tan is so quiet. Tan is so quiet. Tan is so quiet. I'm in a